to welcome an individual who has truly been a marvelous advocate and voice for farmers everywhere, the Honorable Ted McKinney. Undersecretary McKinney's deep-rooted passion for agriculture began on his family's grain and livestock farm in Indiana. As another Corn Belt native, his early experiences as a 10-year 4-H member and Indiana State FFA officer laid the foundation for a lifelong dedication to the agricultural sector. Undersecretary McKinney's journey is a testament to his commitment to the farming community. After graduating from the wonderful Purdue University with a degree in agricultural economics, he embarked on a remarkable career that spans over 3 decades. His roles at Dow AgriSciences and Elanco, coupled with his tenure as director of the Indiana State Department of Agriculture, showcase his profound impact on the industry. As the first U.S. Department of Agriculture Undersecretary for Trade and Foreign Agricultural Affairs, he spearheaded the development of trade policies that opened up new markets for U.S. farmers and ranchers. In his new role as the CEO of National Association of State Departments of Agriculture, known as NASDA, he is at the forefront of advocacy and innovation for the agricultural sector. Please join me in warmly welcoming a leader whose life and career embody the spirit of American agriculture, Undersecretary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Michelle. I think I need to change my wardrobe. I love that coat you've got. Would that fit me? I don't know. We'll explore that. Folks, it is an honor and a pleasure for me to be here. I suspect more than what I might have done in the past, it's more what I'm doing now in my fanaticism for global hunger and how to address it, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and all the things that go with feeding people properly and giving them the right nutrition might be a more appropriate reason why I'm here. A special thank you to the World Food Prize Foundation, who I have known. I've been to Des Moines for that great event many, many times. I will be returning there for sure. And what a better partner than CIMMYT. Bram, I got to tell you, this is in my heart. I proudly display my CIMMYT cup. I have my CIMMYT paraphernalia. And when people come in my office and ask who in the world is CIMMYT, I take more than 5 minutes to explain what this place is and what it's done. So I think I've earned my fanatic. I also want to do a shout out. There are so many influential organizations and people here, but another one special to me are my friends at IECA. The work that you do in this part of the world and beyond with your extension and your work at COP is unbelievable, and you deserve some recognition as well. And I see my friend Holly Higgins out there with the USDA Foreign Ag Service. Love you all, you know that, and you taught me a great deal, probably set me on this course. And so to you and our friends with the State Department, USAID, and the others in the US government, I'm grateful. So, and I gotta make sure I say as well that my longtime friends, Jeannie and Julie must be around somewhere, but my pleasure to have really come to know you. I want to touch on about 4 quick points. First, my own experience with Norman Borlaug. Who is NASDA? I'll be very quick on that. A look back that I think we need to reflect on more, and this is a part of Dr. Borlaug's work. And then a look forward, and I'm going to introduce something I hope you take with you called the power of AND, A-N-D. More on that later. First of all, NASDA is 108 years old. It's a US-based association, and our members are those state secretaries, commissioners, and directors of agriculture. 12 are elected outright. The rest are appointed by a governor. And my, are we finding our voice. We've played in the international world, mostly through our tri-national accord, where we have our friends here in Mexico, AMSDA, our friends from the provinces of Canada, and our own members come together once a year. We're trying to lift up the tri-national accord. But 2 years ago, when I was hired, our board said, we think we should be doing more internationally. And I said, so long as we're not interfering with USTR and USDA or AID, if we're in the complementary mode, I'm all in. And my goodness, our work and our opportunity internationally is exploding. Exploding. And because we don't represent a certain commodity or critter, as I say lovingly, we want to lift them all up. Right now, we're doing some intensive work in Kenya, trying to help them reestablish an extension system, or the rough outline of that, because they vacated that many years ago. And they're desperately trying to bring in new technologies. Were it not for a European NGO funding some anti-activist groups, they would have had the opportunity to import biotechnology crops and perhaps plant biotechnology seeds. So that's very, very important. My own experience, point one. Dr. Borlaug was on the Dow AgriSciences Environmental Advisory Council, and was it a statuesque group. We had a former head of the Environmental Protection Agency. We had Dr. Borlaug. We had outstanding farmers from around the world. And I always got to take care of him because at that time, had the hearing aids, and sometimes the battery was going low, so I was the one that took good care of him, partly because I admired the man so much, and so I got to sit and get to know him a little bit. And I, for the first time in the early 90s, heard the words, "Take it to the farmer." And that resonated with me. I did not know he said this to a lot of people, but it resonated with me, and I have picked that up. And I remember him saying it because we were having a very robust discussion on biotechnology seeds. Fairly new at the time, innovative. Could we possibly replicate in some form what Dr. Borlaug did with those semi-dwarf wheat varieties? Well, that was the vision, and I was all in. And to hear him talk about his experiences changed the entire dynamic of that discussion. And he concluded his discussion with these outstanding, notable people by saying, "Take it to the farmer." I've never forgotten it. I want to look back now. Point two. Have you ever stopped to think what would have happened had Dr. Borlaug not been successful when he visited with the heads of government in Bangladesh and India and those areas that were facing and into starvation? People, I have. And were it not for his success in the science, developing those semi-dwarf wheat varieties, and then selling them, convincing, educating, informing, we would have had many, many hundreds of millions, I've heard billions, but I'll stick with hundreds of millions, not with us today and back at that time. The man was successful not only in his science, but his art of selling an idea and a vision. That has stuck with me. And we need that today in Kenya. There are naysayers, even after 30-some years of saying, no, we don't need that technology, we need another technology. All the while, food security ramps up and gets more significant. So, I'm very, very thoughtful and reflective when I think what had happened had Dr. Borlaug failed on those visits. So now, a look forward. Let's be optimistic, and I am. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, so let's just look forward, and I want to elaborate on the power of "and." Yesterday, one, if not two speakers referenced total factor productivity. You need to go to the Virginia Tech Gap Report webpage and you will understand what it is. It takes data provided by countries themselves, not models that come out of some university in the US. Data provided by every country of the world. I know this because it's housed at my alma mater in the GTAP program. it analyzes how are we doing in accepting of technologies and how are we doing on our quest to feed 10 billion or thereabouts by 2050. And folks, the news is troubling. We are continually slipping behind. Now, there are many reasons for that. This is multifaceted. There's climate change. There's all kinds of things. But there is also rejection of good science and technologies. A little bit like Dr. Borlaug faced when he made his first visits to Asia Pacific. I'm thrilled that Margaret Ziegler's here. Margaret, I got to know when she was the executive director or CEO of that GAP report effort. So look her up. She'll tell you more even than I can. But the bottom line, folks, is we are falling behind, and we cannot wish our way in there. We've got to do the hard work that Dr. Borlaug and so many others did. I'll give you an example. In my visits, extensive I might add, in Kenya, I have learned that many farmers want to plant new technologies, new seeds, but they're being told by Europe, no, if you plant them, we will not buy them, and that's their largest market now. That's too bad. Let me jump to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Beth, I see you down there. Thank you for your good service with FAO. I want you to take note of the 17 goals. Have you noted who is first and what's second? Let me just give it to you. The first one is no poverty. Importantly, the second one is zero hunger. And being more than gratuitous, I'm thrilled to see that gender equality is ranked up there at number 5. Now, those didn't get up there in the top 5 by chance. My point is, we've got to work on all of them, and I am, and NASDA is, and you are, but let's not forget what's up first. We can get so wrapped up in climate change activities, which we must address, and we are, that we forget about hunger. I cite my good friends in Europe who have their farm-to-fork philosophy, and the intent was to mandate 25% of arable land to go to organic. I am a fan of organic. If somebody can afford that, I'll be their biggest assistant. I lifted up many organic farmers in my time with the Indiana Department of Ag, but the majority of the world cannot afford that. I will not name the source of the person I was talking with this morning, but they said, and they quoted Dr. Borlaug, they said, "Shame on we in the developed world if we pass judgment on the developing world with some of these choices." That resonated with me. So, don't forget the UN Sustainable Development Goals. No poverty, zero hunger, or 1 and 2, gender equality 5. The others are important. We've got to stay focused. So let's cut to the chase. We can and we must address hunger. We must. And, the power of and, parentheses, the power of and address our climate and related problems. Folks, it's not either or. Our own farms in Indiana are a great example. We went to no-till the moment we had over-the-top herbicides that could take care of weeds. We fought through 2 years of fall armyworm with nothing more than biotech corn and neonicotinoid-treated seeds. The non-GM corn went down like we've seen in the southern parts of Africa and China. It ravaged those crops. The power of and will let us increase productivity and address climate change. And certainly, acceptance of innovation and technology is still our very best way forward. How many times have we rejected Malthus's theory, probably accurate at the time, and proven that technology and wisdom and research like we see in this entire campus bailed us out and continued to feed a growing world? Innovation and technology acceptance in large part has done that. So in conclusion, we can do it. We are doing it. I have seen it on my own and hundreds of other farms. We can continue to prove Dr. Malthus incorrect in his theory. And I'm pretty sure, Jeannie helped me here, but I think Norm would have said, yes, take it to the farmer and keep innovating, because that's what got us through that green revolution and what's going to do it again today. So the power of and is powerful. Count me as all in. Thank you.